Christmas is an important part of any child-targeted media franchise, and as most Tokusatsu series are, it means they all have their fair share of Christmas episodes, to add just a bit more of that magical spirit to the show, and to hopefully get the kids asking for just one or two more toys from mom and dad. But what are the best ones? What are some of the most well-executed and Christmassy of Christmas episodes out there? Today, we're gonna find out. Hi, I'm the Vacuuminator, and this is my top 10 Toku Christmas episodes. This video is a production of Modular Media. If you'd like to see regular weekly podcasts on Tokusatsu and beyond by myself and other dedicated creators, please consider supporting Modular Media with the card on your screen now so that we can one day create more robust content on a regular basis. Now, on with the video. Before we begin, let me just clarify that I have not seen every Toku series with a Christmas episode as of this video, because while I consider myself to be well versed in Tokusatsu, especially when it comes to henshin heroes, I still have a long way to go. Number 10 is The Miracle of Christmas from Kamen Rider Wizard. A bit predictable for me, sure, but it's actually a really solid entry early in Wizard's run that's a rare one-off story as opposed to the multi-parters that normally make up most of Wizard's run. This episode sees Haruto protecting a gate named Tetsuro, who is working multiple jobs overtime at Christmas time in order to pay for a ton of gifts that he's going to deliver anonymously to a local orphanage he grew up in order to give the kids hope that their lives will one day get better and help himself hold on to the hope that he can one day be forgiven for being such a bratty kid while he was growing up there. However, as is often the case, the Phantoms learn this at the same time Haruto does and destroy all the presents Tetsuro had just finished buying in order to drive him to despair. It almost works too, but after beating the Phantom of the Week, Haruto is given a present by the actual Santa Claus, the Merry Christmas ring, making a rare example of the year's Christmas gimmick item actually appearing in the show. The ring restores all of Tetsuro's presents, and with some help from Haruto, he takes them all to the orphanage and is embraced by the owner, who still remembers him from his childhood and actually forgives him. Because remember kids, Christmas isn't just about getting presents, it's about being with the ones you love. Just remember to ask them to get you a Kamen Rider Wizard Christmas cake while you are. Number 9 is The Witness of Christmas from Dobutsu Sentai Zyuohger. A pivotal episode for the series, it makes the great decision to brush right past the typical characters who aren't from Earth learn about Christmas plotline and instead focuses on the Jumans wanting to show their gratitude for the humans they've been living with by buying Mario the perfect Christmas present on their limited budget, which feels much more appropriate for a series so focused on exploring the connections between people, and also teaches the kids at home that gift giving isn't just about getting someone something cool, but something that you feel will truly show how much they mean to you. And this episode is also important because it features the moment where Mario finally discovers that Yamato and the Jumans are in fact Zyuohger, setting in motion the events for the finale and making it indispensable for the rest of the series. Pretty crafty there, Toei. Number 8 is The Christmas Battle from Resha Sentai Tokyuger. An excellent cap-off to a 3-part epic that was going on at the time, this episode has major shakeups for the series' storyline, with the team finally discovering what actually happened to their childhood town, Zet getting his final form, and Schwartz meeting his end. It also features wonderful reinforcement of the found family dynamics that Sentai so often excels at, by way of the Tokyugers forgiving Akira after he fails to save their childhood town and insisting that they're all gonna do it together after celebrating the holiday. It's truly one of the best episodes from a criminally underrated series. Check it out if you haven't already. Number 7 is Kai! Rescue My Father, One Chance from Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger. The most recent episode on this list, it features a moment that was long awaited by myself and others all throughout the series. Kaito being reunited with his father after a fierce battle made possible by some secret help from Stacy. And it also has the debut of one last big DX weapon toy packed with tons of exciting Sentai sounds just in time for mom and dad to rush out and buy it the week before Christmas. The 45th Sentai may not have been as good as the 35th, but it sure did pull some great moves that allowed it to have elements that hit on all the things that make Sentai oh so great, and this is a perfect example of that. Number 6 is A Season to Remember from Power Rangers Zeo. The only Power Rangers episode on this list, it may be cheesy and a touch culturally insensitive when viewed through a modern eye, but dang it, it's a classic and it gets me every time. I simply love it. From the goofy make everyone mad at each other with a mind control machine plot, to the weird flash forwards that have now been double confirmed as canon by Dimensions in Danger and Soul of the Dragon, it just brings me back to a simpler time, before I cared about things like characterization, or continuity, or the fact that Christmas is actually a pagan holiday that was co-opted by Christians because they didn't want to celebrate the birth of their savior in the summer, and Santa Claus is actually just a marketing gimmick by the Coca-Cola company to sell more sugar-filled drinks that's only kind of based on an actual person. If you don't like it, I get it. But as for me, well, I'm gonna take my tamales and get out of here.
Merry Christmas!
This video is brought to you by my merch store. That's right, now you can get all your favorite The Vacuuminator designs on merch just in time for the holidays, like the current and classic logos, the symbols, and much, much more. But it's not just going to be t-shirts, you can also get the designs on sweatshirts, tote bags, mugs, and more. All items are priced as cheaply as possible, with a portion of the profits going to benefit the original designers, so if you're crazy enough to want to dress like me, now's the time. Just follow the link on your screen, in the cards, or the video description. Now, on with the video. My honorable mention is In End, The Greed, and a New Rider from Kamen Rider O's. While admittedly not very Christmassy, the episode does still take place around Christmas time and is the closest to actually airing on Christmas. But more importantly, it's a huge turning point for the series' story. It's where we first learn about the true origins of the metals, it's the debut of Kamen Rider Birth, and it's where Edgy and Gamal first become friends, and who can forget that epic romance? Number 5 is Christmas Special targeting the Silver Xmas from Kamen Rider X-Aid. This episode is infamous for its insane tonal shift, starting off as a fairly simple plot of the week about Emu and Poppy helping a sick kid at Christmas time, seemingly peaking into full cheese with the Peepo Bell sequence, and then ending in the grim and shocking scene where Kamen Rider Gem Dangerous Zombie debuts and Kiria dies. To this day, it's left an insane impact on the Kamen Rider fandom, the least of which being the Be Nice to Rider fans during Christmas time meme. Honestly, if it hadn't made my top 5, I'd be leaving an angry comment myself. Number 4 is Wonderful! Christmas of Justice from Juden Sentai Kyoryuja. This is an action-packed episode that sees the Kyoryugers fighting massive monster attacks all over the world, a major reveal about the villain's plot, and the team using their mechs to play Santa and deliver presents to kids all over the world. It's just tons of fun, and it's one of the first episodes I think of when I think about things I enjoy about Kyoryuger. It's maybe not the most complex or interesting, but it's worth throwing on for the kids to enjoy while you wrap presents at the very least. Number 3 is Mission 43, Christmas Determination, and Mission 44, Christmas Eve, Time to Finish Our Mission, from Tokume Sentai Go Busters. Yes, it's a tie, but can you really blame me? You can't watch one of these without watching the other, and they're both just stuffed to the gills with awesome stuff going on. Enter and escape wearing Santa outfits, the Go Busters returning to the orphanage where they grew up to help celebrate Christmas as adults, some amazing action scenes that make the episodes feel like they could have been the finale if they wanted to be, and BJ Stagg is a tree! Look at him! He's a tree! It's a masterclass in how to do a Sentai Christmas arc. There's plenty of stuff that feels in line with the holiday while also advancing the plot enough to get you good and excited for the race to the finale. Number 2 is Who Can Prevent the Dark Christmas Eve from Kamen Rider Drive. Honestly, I just find this one really relatable. I mean, my birthday isn't on Christmas Eve like Tomari's, but it's January 8th, which is still close enough to Christmas that growing up I had plenty of birthdays where there just wasn't much fanfare because my family and friends were still financially recovering from Christmas. So much so that for the last couple of years I've kind of just fucked off to do whatever I want to do on my own during my birthday. Last year I took a drive to the next state over and saw the first AEW Battle of the Belts live, and that was awesome. But that's just one example, sticking out in a sea of disappointment. A sea that honestly is a little easier to swim through now that I know one of my favorite writers is there too. This is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this one though, but I think you'll have to wait for my full video on Drive to hear the rest. And finally, what else could number 1 be but a lovely Christmas Eve from Kaizuko Sentai Gokaiger. It's the Christmas episode for not just my favorite Sentai, not just my favorite Tokusatsu, but my favorite show, period. Plus, it's the one and only appearance of Gokai Christmas. A Christmas-themed Sentai suit? You just don't get any better than that! Yeah, it's just Guy combining Dawn and Marvelous's suits so he can have something cool to do during the Battle Fever J tribute, but who cares? It's a freaking Christmas-themed Sentai suit! They even made an SH Figure Arts of this thing! As if that weren't enough, it's also just a really charming little done-in one about Luca helping a child save her little brother. The monster of the week might be a touch insensitive when viewed through a modern Western eye, but that's never going to be enough to stop me from watching this one every Christmas Eve like I have since Gokaiger first aired. Because Christmas-themed Sentai suit! And that's my top 10. What are yours? Let me know in the comments down below, and while you're there, please hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell in order to enable notifications and get all my future videos sent to your inbox. Also, consider giving me the gift of your support over on Patreon. Just $1 gets your name in the credits of all future videos and the ability to listen to my monthly production diary podcast. And $5 gets your name read aloud at the end of videos and allows you to submit a question to that same podcast. It's a pretty solid way to help me out and one day afford to be able to do this full time. But until then, this is the Vacuuminator reminding you that you never fail until you stop trying, and wishing you a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.